So, I'm here today to talk about this guy, the SouthOrd C210. It's a 22-piece slimline set. In particular, this is marketed by PickPals as the PickPals 22-piece set. Now, this is, look, I'm going to say probably my favorite for sort of an everyday carry set of picks. First of all, yeah, it does have a lot of picks in there. Historically, I've not been a fan of sets where they're like, 300 pieces or, even 20 pieces. But this one is the exception, and one of the reasons for this is, first of all, the case, as you can see, is pretty reasonable in size. It's not something where the manufacturer was wanting to show off or pretend that it's more than it was by putting these things in a huge case. It really is very, very compact. And there's a bit of extra room inside to put things that might be interesting. So let's take a quick look at this, the 22-piece set. So it's a zippered case. I really do prefer the zippered cases to any of the sort of leather fold or Velcro-y type things. It's just personal preference. Now, yeah, I'm a big fan of different types of cases, and this one is pretty great. So this is a set I've actually been using daily for probably about 2 years now, and I've had to replace a couple of picks over time, but look, it was more me being rough with things, but replacements aren't too pricey, so it's pretty fine. So this has been serving me well for, like I said, a couple of years now. What's really great about it is that, unlike a lot of the other sets where there's a billion picks, there's not a lot of duplicates in here. So if we take it out, and first of all, it's just great, the number of pockets here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and a center pocket that can be used for tension wrenches. So you can keep things a bit organized and place them where works for you. So if we take it out, first of all, any set that boasts a decent number of pieces, what I look for first is tension wrenches. Now, there are, well, I don't need to tell anyone on here, but for anyone who's been doing this a while, you know that tension is everything. So having a decent range of tension wrenches for different situations is really, really important. Probably more important than the picks themselves. So in this set, we've got sprung tension wrenches. So 2 sprung tension wrenches, both different lengths of the full size. So these are good, and a nice long sprung tension wrench sometimes lets you put, and it's a bit deceptive, the longer sprung tension wrenches are generally better for putting on less force rather than more. You get a lot more control, so you can put just the right amount of force on there, and that can be great for sort of really twitchy, high quality locks. We've got the double-ended tension wrench here with the slim and the full size. Absolutely brilliant if you need to open a padlock or an office locked cabinet or something like that. A straight up just standard single-ended slimline pick, wrench, a standard wrench with a non-sprung handle, and this guy here. Now you notice that this looks a bit different, and this is really, really cool. So in certain situations, you'll find yourself up against a door which you need to open, but the door frame is getting in the way. So what this does is it allows you to put a little bit more distance between your leverage point and the lock in question. So this is really, really useful if you're out in the real world, you've locked yourself out, or if you're working in the field and you need to open a door. This guy, super top notch, especially if you don't have a plug spinner on hand and you really do need to open it in the unlock direction. So if a lock's been mounted upside down or something like that, this guy's going to be a real lifesaver if you don't have a plug spinner on hand. That said, I mentioned you can put a little bit extra in this case. So something I've found you can do is this bit in the middle here will fit a plug spinner quite nicely. So you can fit a plug spinner in this case, which makes it really practical and definitely an everyday sort of carry kind of set. Yeah, if you want to spend the extra money, throw a plug spinner in there, you'll be able to open pretty much any of the standard pin tumbler locks, padlocks, whatever out there without too much hassle at all. We've got one of these. Oh yeah. So this will let you pick double-sided locks. So we've got pins both on the top and bottom. So this is common in wafer locks on filing cabinets, certain older cars. Yeah. Where I've come up across these is sort of window locks and office cabinets is where I use this guy most of the time. But look, it's one of those things. If you don't have this tool, you can probably pick those types of locks, but it's going to be really painful and a huge waste of time. Yeah, this little bit of metal is so damn useful. Alright, so that's all the tension wrenches. Awesome. Let's have a look at the picks. And like I said, there's not a lot of repetition, which is really, really awesome. So we'll do this side by side because I've sort of organized the sides where I keep my things and I don't want to get them messed up too much. But what we can see is we've got a set of picks and yeah. So if you look through, we have this guy, a city rake. So this is good for the just what we call skilled jiggling. So you grab it, jiggle it in the lock with some tension and hope for the best. And the arrangement of teeth is sort of meant to emulate common key patterns. Really useful. To be honest, you can open most things with a city rake in a few seconds. And if that doesn't work, then you go on to using your more sensible picks for more skilled picking. So we've got our circular pick here, good for double-sided locks. I call it the Snowman Pick. Again, double-sideds. Now, we've got a couple of hooks, deep hooks, so good when you've got those sort of 1-9 arrangements on your locks, so very deep set pins versus very shallow set pins. Absolutely brilliant, and a couple of different thicknesses, which can be very, very useful, but to be honest, I don't mind having a couple of these because, well, when I break a pick, it tends to be those ones, so that's just me. Pretty good. 2 different sizes of diamonds. So this is typically I use the larger diamond when my lock's a bit jammed up and I want to open it, and the smaller diamond when I'm trying to feel around or either feel or deal with those locks that are a bit tougher but still smaller. And of course a standard rake, you're always going to need that. Okay, so I'm just going to put this set over here for the moment. And let's have a look and see what I've got on the other side. Okay. Alright, so I've got 3 different types of funky rakes and 4 different feeler hook type picks. So I've got the 2 traditional feelers here, and these are very, very fine. It's worth noting, so all of the picks in this set are metal handles, so they've got a nice thick metal handle, very, very durable. I find these better than the plastic handles for the most part. So that's very, very good. And these are just very, very fine feelers. So good when you're dealing with small locks or when you want to be able to adequately feel out the interior and do single pin picking. These guys, absolutely awesome. And you'll be able to see one is deeper and wider than the other. So I don't know how this is going to come out in the video, but these are useful for very different types of locks. So really great. And you can see this guy, this one I've got bent up slightly. I use this one very, very frequently. Then we've got the hooked diamond style picks. Again, really good when you're trying to wedge or force something open under a deep pin set. So really good. One diamond, one rounded. So yeah, good for those deep pin sets if you're trying to rake the rear part of a lock and you've set the front. Just brilliant. And look, there's nothing wrong with having a few different rakes. So with the standard rake and these, we've got a few more rakes. These are just things to try when you're hoping for the best and trying to get something open. So with those rakes and the city rake, you're generally going to have a pretty good time. And not to mention our brilliant set of tension wrenches. Alright, so just bear with me. I'm going to put these back into the case here. Yeah. Oh yeah. There we go. Got those in. These in, and I'm just going to take out my double-sided wrench for a moment while I slot these guys back in. Here we are. And these ones. And yeah, so with some lockpick cases, it can be a real chore to get everything back in. What you can see with this guy, it's really just a matter of stuffing it all in there. There's enough slack in the leather to allow it all to go in very, very easily. There we go. Cool. So that's it, the PickPals 22-piece set. Really good, and so you know with PickPals, you've got, great service, great products. Yeah, PickPals just get the job done. So one thing I will continue to support PickPals for is that they don't stock terrible products. So many other lockpicking stores and sites don't give a crap about what they stock. If you look at every single item on PickPals, they are all top-notch. They're all things I'd be happy to use myself, and the 22-piece set is no exception. Thank you for watching.